right, so for the last year or so, my news outlet has been covering an ongoing schism within the South Carolina Republican Party. Now, it's no secret to regular readers of Fitz News that the GOP in South Carolina is badly divided. There are a number of different camps, conservatives, MAGA, arch conservatives, neoconservatives, nat conservatives, a bunch of labels. As far as I can tell, all the labels are pretty much self-applied, so buyer beware. All right. Anyway, one of the biggest spats within this schism is between two Republican Party leaders. One of them is Chad Connolly. He's the former state chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party. The other is Jeff Davis. He is the current chairman of the Greenville County Republican Party. Now, Connolly and Davis have been going back and forth with each other for years over control of South Carolina's incredibly small and very anemic parental choice program. Now, South Carolina passed a school choice bill several years ago, but it is limited to special needs students, and again, it's a very narrowly drawn bill. Now, there's still a significant amount of money attached to it, and Davis and Connolly for years have been fighting over that pot of money. Now, in that fight, allegations have been made from both sides, and Chad Connolly refuted some of those allegations that were made against him at a recent South Carolina Executive Committee meeting. So in this audio, what you're going to hear is the back and forth between Davis and Connolly at a recent South Carolina Republican Party Executive Committee meeting. Now, Davis was thrown out of this meeting and has since been banned from attending future party gatherings. Why? Well, let's listen to this audio, which again has a little bit of a Real Housewives feel to it. So if you're a Bravo TV fan, you might enjoy this. Let's go to the clip.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it. If y'all been around for a while, you're going to be shocked. I'm going to try to read this, but I'm going to leave it out. And how do you guys get that set up there? Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate the words, the prayers. I texted Casey as well. It's a tough deal, isn't it? I brought some handouts. Got some people pass some handouts, and you'll have copies of those. I didn't have much ink left, so I didn't make enough copies for everybody. But you can pass those around. You'll take a look at what some of y'all have appeared in these. But you'll take a look at that. But I'll just have a brief presentation. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint. And my friend here gets us set up. Some of y'all were in the room in September when my name was slandered and besmirched by someone in this very room. And y'all deserve to get the truth. Proverbs 18:17 says, "The first to plead his case seems right, until another comes along and examines him." That's what we're supposed to do. That's exactly what Christians are supposed to do, is get the facts. We're all entitled to our own opinion. We're not entitled to our own facts. Yep, the Greenville County GOP chairman, we already heard from, has sued me multiple times. That's true.
Excellent.
He's made a multitude of wild, unhinged, and dishonest claims about him over a period of some 3+ years. And yes, he's lost, or is in a position to only lose every single lawsuit. And so what we have is going to be some information, but we're going to get this PowerPoint rolling here, and you'll be able to see this. Y'all deserve to hear the truth from me, so you don't fall for his antics. As you'll learn, this is just what he does. He sues people, he attacks, he files baseless and frivolous lawsuits, he's relentless. I have never spoken publicly about this. I've never even met the guy. But he posts about me.
You refused to meet with us and attack my wife.
Has right now, sir. He has all. Sure. He's posted my personal information. He's posted pictures of my teenage children. He's trolled their accounts. And I'll show you all of it. I've enjoyed not responding to the guy, because I think that's what drives him nuts, to be honest with you. I think it's true. I'm so busy. There's not a gauge that measures small enough for what I care what he says about me, but I do care about the party. Look, I'm in politics. I've had rocks thrown at me. I've been called every name but the Son of God. That's just not abnormal, right? I mean, I've had things said about me that I never conceived of saying. I've never been sued this much. And clearly, it's not about him winning. It's because he's lost every case. But y'all deserve to know exactly what's going on. You ready to have a deal? Technology.
Love it.
See, it's not just about me either, y'all. This is about a bunch of people. He sued conservative groups like South Carolinians for Responsible Government, He sued the Palmetto Promise Institute, the Palmetto Family Council, and the Cato Institute for good measure. He sued a Republican consulting firm, run by our former buddy, SCGOP Chairman Matt Moore. He has sued long-time Republican activists. Some people sitting in the room, Tony Denny, how you doing, buddy? Tony's probably the grandfather here. He was executive director of the party when y'all could meet in a phone booth. And I appreciate that. You know, we didn't have this back in the day. What do you have, 25, 30 Republicans in the House and 7 or 8 in the Senate? Man, now we dominate. It's incredible. I think we're having technology trouble here. Projector's off. So he sued Tony Denny, who's been in this room since the 90s. J.W. Radley, some of y'all don't know these names, you remember them. Mika Childs, Tom Swatzel, who led the first school choice program in South Carolina. Philip Seitz, Esther Wagner. A lot of y'all know Esther. Just a great lady who's out working hard and made her spend money. Ellen Weaver, GOP Chambers, one of my fine attorneys is in the back of the room. I always call him GOP affectionately because I don't ever want to have a good lawyer confused with a different one. My buddy Dave Wilson, who now runs Palmetto Family Council. Orrin Smith. My goodness, how long has Orrin been doing Republican Party politics? Stephen Kirkland. Stephen runs a forensic accounting business. Stephen did an independent audit of this guy's operation and revealed what he'd been doing. I'll show you all that too. So he sued Stephen. He actually called into question Stephen's way of making a living. He's a forensic accountant and he calls him a liar. Yeah. Cheryl Cuffle. Cheryl's in this room as a county party chairman. Ran her out. Ray C. Cooper's in a current lawsuit. I don't see LaDonna here, but. Oh, and Randy Page. Randy Page. Randy's been around Republican politics from day one. There's a list. You can just see the list. There's a bunch of John Doe's too, because he'll figure out maybe you're a part of this, and you just have to figure out your name yet. He sued people who are members of this executive committee, including me, Nate Lloyd, where's Nate? Nate, co-defendant, how you doing, buddy? And LaDonna that they just mentioned. Even sued former U.S. Senator Jim DeMint. Probably the most conservative U.S. Senator we ever had. I just saw him in D.C. a couple days ago. So for all his claims, he's building the party of all 251 defendants. They're all Republicans. All Republicans. There's 0 Democrats building a party. Very effective. It's trying hard to tear apart. That's right, 0 Democrats. You can click there. 251 named defendants. 0 Democrats. We're on track now. I love when technology works. Sometimes you need a hammer. Most of these targets you saw, they're like me and you. They walk doors. They've knocked doors. I'll get you a little bit. They've. I got the floor. Thank you.
It's being recorded.
You got a question?
My attorney's reporting it. Thank you.
Is there a different rule for your?
And so,
Is there a different chat? Is there a different rule for your attorneys than for the rest of us that are not permitted to record? I just want to make sure we all understand the playing field. I'm not speaking for or against anything you're saying, but rules are rules. Permission from who?
Like me, they walk doors. They've made phone calls. They've waved signs. They've never been paid. I've never been paid by the state Republican Party. And so they've just been a volunteer who stepped up. They love our nation, and they felt called to get involved.
How is this relevant to our agenda?
As the chair, the new chair of the Greenville GOP, he's branched out. He's done some real leadership, a little sarcasm included there. He's attacked Republicans, Sandy and Gary just mentioned, from across the state. They've actually led the way in censuring a state legislator to some 200 miles away. And a former state senator, as Sandy just mentioned, who's probably more than that away. So real good use of people's time here. Put next slide, please. To sum it up, this guy's a threat to the party. He's a threat to you because he's an agitator. He creates his own narrative of dishonest issues, uses bullying, George Soros, and Democrat tactics, pushing a dishonest narrative from your counties. He's working in some of your counties to undermine your leadership, I promise you. I've experienced it firsthand. Here's my chance to make sure you don't have to. He's calling me an embezzler publicly. There's one of those is sliding around somewhere. Now he claims I'm under SLED investigation. Like all the other silly stuff he's tried, I've not responded since I know, and he knows it's a lie.
Pete Logan with SLED. Pete Logan, phone number 803-734-4079. SLED.
Certainly, he reported his own business.
Brian Harley, FBI, 843-749-8145.
This is ridiculous. Cycle for a wall.
Pete Logan,
Anyone,
Deputy Attorney General Judge Jeff Young.
anyone can report anything to law enforcement. They look at all the reports and do not pursue or investigate what doesn't hold water. And maybe that process of handling his own report of this.
Rick Martin said the same thing out of Newberry, indicted yesterday.
He screwed up though. He's so busy messing around in a lot of your counties, he spread thin and getting sloppy. He even says that he met with SLED.
Sue me if it's not true. Sue me if it's not true. Bring it. Serve it. Serve me if it's not true.
This is the kind of decorum they have to put up with in Greenville every time.
No, all the rhinos are gone. It's just fine.
He even says he met with SLED, the Attorney General's office on a specific date, but my attorney pulled the visitor logs, that's on there, so you can take a picture outside, which was there. You got it next slide.
Everybody knows there's a conference room in the lobby of the AG's office, which is where you meet SLED and the state grand jury.
So before you SLED, I guess he thinks our attorneys are stupid. I thought our investigation about SLED. There's the forward. There's that next slide.
I'll forward everybody the recordings.
The visitor's log from the day he claimed he had to meet in the Attorney General's office. Trying to get a meeting without signing in. He wasn't there either.
There's a conference room in the lobby of the AG's office. Check it out.
Sign in, I've been there.
You don't sign in if you meet in the conference room. You want a fax? This is great.
There's the visitor's log. By the way, we can put all this into the attorney cases and all now, so the judges have this now, because he's been judge shopping in multiple counties. Everyone who gets past the door from me, they got to sign in, he wasn't on the list. Just add the things that doesn't add up, and we're documenting, so you don't have to. Next slide, please, ma'am. The scarier thing is what really ticks me off. This really ticks Dana off. This pushed my restraint.
Bring it.
You posted pictures of my teenage kids' social media. What kind of man trolls another man's social media, teenage kid's social media account?
It's teenage.
This is inappropriate.
It is not inappropriate, sir. I am wanting to hear this information. I have never heard it before.
Thousands of K through 12 children with special needs are suffering. Schools have closed because Chad Conley embezzled money. Because Chad Conley got a job because of his name, not because of his experience.
Taking holiday trips, he's pulled my kids' pictures. He posted them on his page, on his blog, and by the way, when he first sent these out, the kids' pictures weren't blurred. He figured out this is probably a bad idea, so I can blur them. So I handed out some of the pictures. They're floating around the room, and you can see that. These are teenage boys and girls. He's pulled their pictures. Oh, by the way, he's pulled some of y'all's.
Like Rick Martin from Newberry and the 15-year-old Chad. What county are you from?
You're not recognized, Jeff.
Newberry?
Do you understand that? Or you deaf? You're not recognized. You're forward.
Why is he doing this? I know y'all want to know. And a lot of y'all have asked, why did you not respond? I've talked to some of y'all. Because I knew it was a lie, just dishonest, and he needs a narrative.
So why are we having this without preparing it?
Come to Jussie Smollett of South Carolina. So why is he doing this? It's got nothing to do with me. Thank you. I've never interacted with him. I've never met him. I've never had a conversation with him. Still after 3 years of putting up with this crap, it has to do with something that he broke through his own wrongdoing. Still the only person I know that's been kicked out of a program singularly because of his own dishonest acts. He had what he wanted. He's angry at the legislature because they rightfully created exceptional SC scholarship for kids. Under a prior system, Mr. Davis and his wife made a really good living at a charity raising scholarship funding as a scholarship funding organization for South Carolina's kids with disabilities. When you read the Department of Revenue, and I think that's the next one up there, audit of Mr. Davis' organization, PKF, they highlighted 20 South Carolina code violations. Not me, not anybody in here. PKF engaged in quid pro quo arrangements with donors in violation of the provisos. One violation, section 4. PKF fails to provide appropriate contemporaneous substantiation as required by tax law to donors whose children receive scholarships. One violation. Mr. Davis' lawful PKF violated the express prohibition of proviso that bans participation for anyone who's filed bankruptcy in the past 7 years. One violation. No, there's more. Hang on. PKF's contractual relationship with scholarship services violates the tax exempt laws. One violation. Board of directors and officers failed to follow up state laws governing its oversight and approval of PKF's actions and activities. 4 violations. This is state law.
That's why Kirkland's going to lose his CPA license.
PKF inaccurately completed IRS Form 997 violations. There's 4 more and 1 more. You can go on, but 20 violations of state law. So not enough to lie.
Time is valuable.
Not enough to lie. So we have what he doing. His own actions show he's in history of making false representations with intention of defrauding. All these things. We can send you all this. We have links to all of it. We're happy to get to you. As you can see, this is not new. It's not a new thing. This guy has long-term issues with lies and wild accusations and actions. He's become Clinton-esque in his attempts to turn the story around and accuse others of what he's actually done. Ask him about the Taylors in Atlanta and why he lost his certified financial planner license. I've got that. That's floating around too. Let me read that for you. This discipline followed Mr. Davis's entry into a settlement agreement with the CFP board in which he consented, he agreed, to CFP board's findings that he told clients they were purchasing the stock while failing to tell them about the $5 million liability. He also told clients that $950,000 was being used to purchase the stock when he was really using it to pay interest on the loan as well as business and personal expenses. He told clients he was indicating to the bank to change the guarantors of the loan when he did not, informed the clients that the loan was current when it was not, and filed bankruptcy after promising to have the clients release his guarantors on the $5 million loan. They revoked his license permanently. You know what they did? They fall back. He's become Clinton-esque in what he's done. You see it. He moves effortlessly from victim to bully and back to victim again. And it's all a desperation attempt to build an aura of credibility. He's never had it. And any that he did have, he ruined by his own actions. He'll sue again. He'll use any method. Anybody that'll troll your teenage kids' social media, they don't care what their methods are. Y'all figure that out.
We didn't know where you were. You were working for the children of the state. You were skiing in West Virginia instead of raising money for the kids.
He's pretty obsessed with it. You're right. Some of y'all have made some innovations about that. It's weird. I get with it. I'm with it. If any of y'all buy into this nonsense, because he'll sue again, he'll sue you, he'll use you, he'll put you in an untenable position. If you buy into it, and I don't know you, but if you buy into it, look out. I've been having to pay legal fees. All these people are paying legal fees for frivolous lawsuits. But who pays when he comes after you and tries to make you and your life a nightmare? He's already suing members of the committee. I can only imagine what our attorneys think about people sitting in a room when somebody's sitting there taking things out of context and suing them with frivolous lawsuits. If the lawsuit, he doesn't care. Lawsuits are baseless and frivolous and defamation. He doesn't care. He just cuts and pastes and sues again. Like I said, I've never spoken publicly about this to today because, frankly, we beat him at every turn. Those people that lose as much as he does would reevaluate where they are.
You were let go from Exceptional SC because of my lawsuit. The board, Tom Persons, resigned in disgrace.
There's no truth in this guy. Go look in John and read about truth. There's no truth in this guy.
Then let's openly discuss truth.
Is to finally share with you guys what you're up against. His intention is not to win or to build a party. It's to destabilize, distract, destroy, suppress free speech by intimidation, making people scared to criticize him, as a warrior getting sued. He's literally used that with people. You'll be hearing more about that. And he's caused hardworking volunteers, people like us, to do this for free.
You're free?
Legal fees. He's caused them time and oil. That's so disrespectful. That's what he's doing to Greenville GOP, is what he'll do to you. One more thing. The worst thing he's done is try to divide you.
Yes. Yes.
Dividers can never be leaders. We live in a game of multiplication. We got to win. I can tell you, a lot of people here have worked this thing a long time. And they've worked it for free and spent their Saturdays. And so I do respect your time. That's why you need to know this. So you don't waste it.
Republicans, legislators endorsing Democrats?
When I know who they are. And
Amen.
when they're full of lies and defamation and faceless lawsuits. So, Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time. I'm happy to talk with any of you. My cell phone's 803, those of you have 924-4596. If you got a question, I'm not scared of anything.
Love
I
you,
got
Dad.
the truth on my side, and we're not going to let this go.
Let's get to the truth.
Mr. Chairman, I move that this committee officially censure Jeff Davis and that he not be allowed to attend the remainder of this and future state executive committee meetings. His comments and conduct toward Republican leaders and his numerous lawsuits against members of the South Carolina GOP as well as other Republican activists has done nothing but create an environment of intimidation, harassment, and unrest within this party.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
A lot of seconds. JD has a question, so discussion. JD, go ahead.
Do we have those communication calls?
We do not have excommunication clause, but what I will say is that only executive committee men are members of this committee,
That's what I was going to say.
along with the national committee man, committee woman, and our first vice chair. The chairmen are not members of this committee. The chairmen are guests. And so we have complete control over any guests that are allowed in this room. Yes, sir. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir. I have some discussion.
That's it, Mr. Gary.
Yes, I was actually just going to say, according to the rules that I understood, the chairmen were only guests in this body, and unless they were a proxy to the party. Is that right?
Correct. So
So-
anybody who holds a proxy has a vote. Yes.
That's correct. So that would be my suggestion, that only executive committeemen.
I thought we were about truth. If you want truth, let me come in and let's talk about truth.
Pastor Wagner has the floor.
Pastor Wagner of Calhoun County, I call the question.
Pastor Wagner has called the question. Requires 2/3 vote. All in favor of calling the question, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
So we're calling the question. All in favor of the question, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Question passes. Thank you very much. So the motion has been passed. You've been asked to leave the room, sir.
Goodbye.
Go away.
Sure. More than happy. Don't want to hear the truth, kick them out of the room.
Not from you, you don't have it.
Pete Logan, Pete Pauling, SLED,
It's always on the thing.
FBI.
Take your paper with you.
Oh, you don't want to read them either?
No.
Of course.
Yeah, you need to look for
Okay, I gotta get my wife. I'll say this to you. That's how you.
Oh, no,
I don't know.
Listen, this has to come to a head. It has to get put up there. So it's great now everybody sees it. So thank you guys for this. Yeah, no worries. I'm glad you got that paid to come to the party.